Welcome back to Fantasy Football Today, presented by Caesars Sportsbook and Casino. Lots of fun games coming up at 4 o'clock Eastern today. You got the Falcons at the Rams, Seahawks, 49ers, Texans, Broncos, Bengals, Cowboys, Cardinals, and Raiders. Fun slate and fun action, and helping you win some money is our buddy Jason Canfora joining us now here on Fantasy Football Today. So JLC, let's get right to it. Falcons coming off a disappointing loss against the Saints. Rams coming off an even bigger disappointment against the Bills. The Rams are 10-point favorites at home, the over-under 46.5. What's the play here for you?
It's crazy, some of these lines this week, huh? A lot of double-digit or touchdown-plus lines this early in the year. I will lean into the Rams here. I do it with no great fanfare or furor, but I'll look at them because of the extended rest, right, versus their opponent. You look at the talent imbalance. You look at how hard Atlanta played against a divisional foe on shorter rest, only to lose. More time for McVay to prepare. I think there's certainly some lessons to be learned from how they got their butts kicked by the Bills. I just don't know that the Falcons have an answer for Cooper Kupp, or anybody does. I think the Rams will be able to get some of their pass protection issues addressed, or at least schematically address it. I don't think Atlanta's defense is equipped to put as much pressure on those potential problem spots as certainly the Bills was. So I'll take the Rams to cover, but I got to be honest, guys, that's not one of the games I like the most this week.
Understandably so. Hopefully what you're saying, though, is right, that we get Sean McVay and the offense clicking again for the Rams. Much, much easier opponent, though. That Falcons defense, certainly not what the Bills threw at them last week. Let's go to the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Seahawks. The 49ers 9.5-point favorites. Trey Lance did not look good in the rain against Chicago, while Geno Smith looked great against the Broncos in their upset victory. So, JLC, what's the play here for you? Again, the over-under is 40.5 points.
My play is the under. Mother Nature, undefeated or close to it. The forecast there looks pretty wet, pretty ugly. I don't buy either of these quarterbacks. It's hard for me to financially back either one, or to lean into either one as someone who's going to make a difference in a positive way for their teams. I know all the hype about Geno Smith, and he had the fast start. He didn't score any points in the second half, and that team, Seattle, has its limitations. Trey Lance with Jimmy G right behind him, lurking after the stinker that he put up last week. Is that going to bring out the best in him? Still no Kittle. The run game for the 49ers, all of a sudden, they're not able to hit stretch plays and outside zone with any effectiveness against a bad Bears team. Then you throw in the offensive line issues for the 49ers, running back injuries. I don't think this is going to be an aesthetically pleasing game, guys. I don't know how many individual standouts there's going to be on offense. Factor in the weather. I'm playing the under.
Makes a lot of sense, and obviously Trey Lance has to prove it, and this 49ers team, as you said, banged up, so hopefully he can still find some success for fantasy managers relying on Trey Lance. Let's go now to Las Vegas, where the Cardinals and the Raiders are meeting up. The Raiders are 5.5-point favorites in this one, over under 51.5, so they're expecting a lot of points. Is that the direction you're leaning as well, JLC?
Yeah, I like the Raiders in this spot in a big way. You could look at their points totals last week and say, oh, well, that's not what you thought. Well, yeah, there were also 5 sacks and 3 interceptions that thwarted drives. But the Raiders averaged almost 8 yards. I think it was 7.33 yards per first down play against the Chargers. The Cardinals are not going to muster the pass rush the Chargers did. Chandler Jones isn't there anymore. They're not facing Bosa and Mack. I don't like the Cardinals secondary. They have all these positionless defenders, but I don't know which of them can actually stop a tight end like Darren Waller with any regularity. I like Carr to go over his passing totals. I like Waller to get an anytime touchdown in this game. I like the Raiders to surpass their team total, which I believe was at 29.5. Yes, I am all over the Raiders here. I don't buy the Cardinals. I haven't bought the Cardinals. This doesn't look like a good spot for the Cardinals to me.
Love that call, and hopefully we get, again, a lot of fantasy production, maybe on both sides. Cardinals, maybe, as we saw last week, some comeback effort as well can make this a fun and exciting shootout. Again, over under 51.5. Let's go to Denver. The Texans coming off the tie against the Colts, and you got the Broncos coming off the disappointing loss. Broncos 10-point favorites at home, over under 45. What's the play here for you, JLC?
I'll take the points here. Again, I don't love these big spreads this early in the year. This isn't a game that I feel super strongly about. However, I just feel like in general the Texans are undervalued. They're by no means a good or great NFL team, but Davis Mills has been a very effective quarterback for them, and he knows how to manage games. I think they know who they are, and I think they have just enough sort of talent and just enough lack of expectations to be a little bit scary. In the past, you can look at history and say Mile High has been something of a fortress early in the season. And yes, they have Russell Wilson, but it's a bit of a short week. And I didn't like, obviously, the play calling tendencies inside the red zone, what Nathaniel Hackett and company were coming up with. If it tends to be threes and not sevens for that Denver team that I do think will move the ball, then I could see a scenario where Davis Mills and company get a late touchdown, and all of a sudden it's a backdoor cover, and the Broncos end up winning by less than 10 points.
Last week it was the Texans blowing the lead against the Colts and ending up with the tie. Maybe they are chasing points, and like you said, they get that backdoor cover. All right, we got the Bengals, the Cowboys. This is another strange line. You got the Bengals, 7-point favorites on the road. Obviously, everybody looking at the Dak Prescott injury. Makes sense, but the over-under here, 51.5. So are you playing the home underdog? What's the play here for you here with the Cowboys and the Bengals?
I'm playing the Bengals. It does give me pause that all of America seems to be on the Bengals. I've liked this game all week. I think the Bengals are going to have the ability to affect Cooper Rush in a big way. In fact, if you're looking for a bomber prop, how about Cincinnati defense, special teams to score a touchdown and the Bengals to win? You can get that at plus 375. Cooper Rush, I get it. He played pretty well against the Vikings a year ago, but I think this is a little different spot where he knows he's going to have to be the guy for a month, and all of a sudden the season's riding on his shoulders, and if we go 0-2, it's over. And you're playing against the Bengals defense that absolutely thrashed the Steelers last week. Like, lost in the shuffle of all the crazy stuff that happened in that game is that they completely suffocated Pittsburgh. I'm not buying Dallas's passing game or running game right now. I think Joe Burrow goes over his yardage totals. I like Joe Mixon. Last I looked, it was 71.5 yards. All they did last week in Tampa was identify Parsons and run the other way. I think Joe Mixon's going to be able to do the same thing. I do like the Bengals to bounce back and win this game and cover. I don't think they're going to be under the kind of duress offensively that the Steelers were able to put them under and steal so many possessions and call so many turnovers. I just don't think that's going to be game flow for the Bengals today.
I'm with you, JLC. I'm worried about this Cowboys offense with Cooper Rush. Certainly worried about Ezekiel Elliott as well. Love the call there on the Bengals. Great job as always, Jason. We appreciate your time here on Fantasy Football Today. Let's recap JLC's picks. He likes the Rams to cover the 10 points there, likes the under between the Seahawks and 49ers, likes the Raiders to cover the 5.5 there at home, likes the Texans to get under the number there at -10, and likes the Bengals to cover the 7 points on the road there at Dallas.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.